bloody leeches every night. Aye. But the guards recruit more and more every day.
Low.
Die, vermin!
Okay, he's got a friend. Ow. I'm burning. In retrospect, I should probably have leached some blood from these guys, but man, they were easy compared to the other ones. That's not a vampire. Ow. Whoa. Okay. That is a goddamn werewolf. I wouldn't say I'm an expert. Ow. You cannot circle strafe around these guys, can you? That's kind of unfortunate, but yeah, that's a werewolf. That's a reveal that I probably should have waited for, but I guess we just found it. Yeah, he had like weird growths on him. Which was not what I was expecting, but that's okay. How are those Pruitt guys just kind of hanging out next to that thing and not realizing? Okay, so that's just the curfew notice.
I cannot enter.
But you know, if I were those Pruitt guys, I probably would have noticed the big werewolf eating a dude. Yeah, so there's somebody with a name around here. Which is interesting. I don't necessarily know where, though. Chapel Old Road. A lot of houses. I like this feels like kind of a, I mean, I've made the comparisons, but there's a specific, like, couple of sections in Bloodborne that this really reminds me of. Fairly early in the game, I guess. Oh. Oh, shit. That mustard gas has a much larger AoE than the visual. Alright, well, I'm done. Or, not done, I'm down. I'm not done. I'm not dead. Hey, thank you, Arctic Piggy, for the resub. Seems like that today is the day of the resub, and that is okay. But yeah, mustard gas does not mess. Admittedly, kind of should have guessed that. Anyway, oh, we're just right here. Well, that's awesome. That's like hardly that's hardly a setback. I guess we'll just deal with this guy. The other guys have just seemingly disappeared. That's one thing I do like about this game. Death has almost no meaning. Probably should have gotten some blood out of him. But honestly, using my sword to generate blood works perfectly well. Eventually, I might switch over to pure blood generation on the sword. But what little damage I can get helps.
Best turn around if I were you.
Go on, off you trot.
I trot towards. Oh, I'm gonna get real bored of some of those lines. Do you like more and more of those leeches every night? What? No one. Oh, good. I'm totally invulnerable while biting. That doesn't make any sense. Ow. Oh, he's parrying. Ow. Well, he's sort of parrying. Okay, and I'm totally out of stamina. That's fine. Oh! Roger the Wall. So he's a mid-boss. Well, the wall's not enough to block this. Hello, have some goo. Don't like goo. That's an unfortunate. Ow. As usual, the enemies feel like they have maybe a little bit too much range on some of those. Oh. Fine. Works fine. Oh, wow. This thing really does generate blood like nobody's business. Admittedly, where does this lead me? Kind of wherever. I'm just opening gates in case some of them lock from one side or the other. You know, I was assuming Roger the Wall would, you know, give me a shield or something. Oh, dude, blocking this would be kind of neat.
Every night. Aye. But the gods recruit more and more every day.
Did he? They respawned. I was just here.
It's a leech! Kill it! Christ! He's dead!
I don't even care about regular damage to some degree. If it's not fire, I don't have to worry about it. I can just wail on them. Well, that works. Let's see, you need to watch a bit more of the main storyline, because this is the entire game, and it's not enough substance for your taste. Yeah, unfortunately, the exploration, the basic enemy combats, they're not terrible, but I've only run into, what, 5 different... 2 types of skals, 5 types of soldiers, but they're kind of really similar. Now, I think I'm headed there. I'm not actually sure which is the safe zone. That might actually be the church that I'm headed for. Or it might be something completely different. I don't know. I'm just kind of wandering around. But no, the combat is... Oh.
It's locked.
Yeah, it doesn't open from this side. The combat is... It's Bloodborne Light. It's trying very hard to be Bloodborne Light. The animations are similar. The gameplay is similar. It doesn't bug me too much. Mainly, it's a pleasant game to play in the meantime.
Fuck you all! Fuck it all! Stop it now, Albert, stop it! I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
This note was found on a dead man, Albert. If that doesn't change your mind, then you must be ready to face the risks.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I've a future here.
Well, this guy's a dumbass. Wait, what? Oh. We've sequence broke it a little bit. Apparently Nurse Dorothy Crane disappears at some point. Welp!
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything, it ain't me.
Medication and drugs are a rare commodity in East London, so you picked an easy target, didn't you?
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Goodbye, young man.
Me? I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
You've wasted your life away.
Okay. This guy creates a compelling argument for a good blood drinking. I'm gonna be honest.
Boots will be proud of me.
This is part of your current quest to find her, right? Yeah, except for all three of them supposedly are in here. I didn't mean to sequence break this hard, but that's okay.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reid, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. And now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
I hate the fact that you can hear Albert in the background. That is one hell of a misstep when it comes to game design. Oh well.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy he just frayed me last nerve.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
Yes. Sounds like shell shock. I've seen a few cases like yours. This is nothing you should be ashamed of, Benjamin. And it's perfectly natural in your situation.
I'm not ashamed. I just need my pills. Peace and quiet, that's all.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
Worse than a week-old lavvy.
Yeah, so for people wondering about the shell shock comment, PTSD was not discovered until, was it World War I or the Civil War? Before that, nobody survived. Generally, you know, anybody that would get PTSD generally just died, or you know, dealt with it quietly because you know it wasn't something to talk about. And so it wasn't like an actually known about medical term really until recently. World War I, okay.
Even the flu is
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Wanderbots cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reid, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reid.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Okay, so she sells Swansboro Cordial with a list of ingredients printed in Latin. Can be recycled into components. So she sells drugs. Effectively. Okay, I'm actually going to go back to this guy for a second. I totally forgot about
Good evening,
one
Ben.
last thing.
I'm afraid
You don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any help?
I always feel ill, sir. It's like I'm never right.
Treatment for migraine required. Okay, don't give
I
me
will see you later. A gun?
Okay, so we want to go find... We're right next to it. It's up in here somewhere. And I'm dead, man. Okay, we want to find my next safe house. Might just be here. Oh, this is probably not a safe house. This is probably an explorable zone. Alright, sure, why not? Yeah, stay away from Cadogan. Whoops. Oh, well. I mean, we're probably going to get far enough into the game. I will probably look this up at some point if actually selectively killing off people is good or bad for the game. Because it'd be a little weird if, like, getting rid of Cadogan, for example, destabilizes it. Or if Cadogan actually happens to be a kind of helpful character in this region, and then it's best to, Oh. Something didn't go great in here. Alright. But, you know, if Cadogan happens to be instrumental to survival, and keeping him alive is useless, but there's, like, one or two characters that you want to pick off to get the good ending. Like, that sort of thing is interesting to me, but, I'm sure we're either going to have to learn more about them, or if it turns out that everybody is crucial, don't eat a single person. Because, like, there's such a thing as being a goody two-shoes, and then there's such a thing as being, like, unrealistic. Oh, this is the hideout. One loaded hideout. And a lot of blood. Let's see, so that's how we get out of here. Yeah, I'm not used to the safe houses being... Well, this. Okay. We found the skals. I don't need any blood. So it's probably best that I... It's probably best that I, you know, lead with the explosion move. Which is probably the only offensive move that I might even pick up in this game. I want to see Wanderbot get more vampire skills and upgrade himself more. Unfortunately, upgrading myself takes time. Blood is addiction. Vampires drink blood. This may be their most specific trait, the sinister peculiarity of their condition. Huh, okay, the weirding on that is weird. If I may say so. Oh, their condition, if I may say so. But for me, this is not the most important characteristic of their diet. What has always fascinated me since I started to study them is the imperative need for blood they seem to endure. They want it more than anything, and this desire can drive them to expose themselves. When they drink it, they seem to feel some sort of short trance, an ecstatic epiphany, said to me once by a Volkard I interviewed in Moscow. I'm convinced that this is an essential element to understand the nature and condition of the vampires. They don't drink blood because it sustains them, but that it offers them ecstasy. Vampires are addicted to blood. All of them. It's part of their nature, and those among the immortals who refuse to submit to their appetite, by the strength of their will only, are never freed of this addiction. From A Veiling the Night by Usher Taltree, Primate of St. Paul. Let's see, Blood Spear is pretty good if they line up. Yeah, I mean, it really depends on how much EXP I get. Unfortunately, because I don't kill anybody, the amount of EXP I'm going to be rolling here is always going to be kind of limited. Which kind of sucks. Okay, so it looks like I've actually cleared this place out now. I might have left some money downstairs. Yell at me if I miss something with specific directions, because I tend to miss things. Before we go, though, we want to make a anemia, cold bronchitis. Okay, so the recipe for a headache is somewhere else, and I can't make that yet. Oh, but I can analyze things. So an enigmatic formula. This formula written on a piece of paper seems complex and needs to be analyzed. Okay, so there's some. And watery-rich blood sample. A small dose of watery-rich blood that can be used to create blood serums for vampires. This is cool. I like this. So cold, bronchitis, or pneumonia. So we still gotta get one more recipe. If we're lucky, it's actually really easy to get. Because the pawn shop guy had it. So I should probably just go back. All those innocent guards, so it's a few more lives. Well, one versus the other might be the difference between a good or a bad end. And, I don't know. Doesn't seem like anyone in this game's having a good day. No. I mean, Jonathan's having an alright day. Oh, you know what? No, Dr. Swansea. Dr. Swansea is having a good day. He is so excited to have a Dr. Vampire working for him. There's our character having a good day. Okay, so I'm just gonna drop down. Let's see if I can find the chapel. Is it right here? What is this? Who are these people? These are just many people. I guess I'll talk to this guy.
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I'm Dr. Reid. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
How is business around here?
Business? I had no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Right then. Show me what...
Okay, so... Oh, tiny... Ugh, those are expensive, too. So this guy sells a little bit more. But it's very pricey, especially for what I've got. So I could fight some of these guys. Just wanted to see if I could get into the actual... This is probably it. You look like you're losing your mind. You know, we should probably actually just... hightail... Let's see. I apparently left a safe back here. So I should probably do that. I'm just going to take kind of an alternate way back. It looks like we've got plenty of people to talk to around here. But we've also got plenty of time. And I can open up some shortcuts now. Specifically this one. It's not much of a shortcut, to be totally honest. But it works. Oh, and I can't jump up there for reasons. That's kind of a weird limitation. Well, scooty scooty. Scooty scooty. Yeah, my legs are moving way too fast for how slow I am in this game. That is really amusing.
It's closed.
Oh. They just respawn.
Steady, boys.
Alright. Ow. Didn't get him. There we go. Oh, this reminds me. I've got a different stake I should be using instead of this one. Can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread vampire. Yeah, that upgraded damage is very much worth it on my main weapon. Because yeah, I'm not relying on powers as much. Though they still do a lot of damage. So it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, so those guys just straight up respawn. I was not really expecting that. Oof. Wow, that's some distance. Hello! I believe we have fought before.
This is not the place for you, sir.
Excuse me.
Kill it! You're a fucking beast!
Did you get the other guy? Perfect. No. Did I actually get hit by that? I have no idea if I did. But yeah, these guys with their, like, blunderbussy guns, not really that big of a deal. Especially when I don't have to worry about my health coming back. I do like that health system, though. The permanent reduction versus the temporary. That alone has actually made this a little bit easier. It could upgrade bite damage since I'm using it so often. It's true. That actually would be like a decent thing to upgrade. I'm probably going to spread a lot of my upgrades around, too. I'm probably going to spread a lot of my upgrades around to, sorry. Brain is distracted while I'm fighting. Spread most of my upgrades around to like low-level upgrades because I kind of try and use my box of tricks as much as possible. I'm probably not going to get the claw or the bite as much though. Just because those are a lot more expensive and therefore a lot harder to justify. Okay, I killed one more dude, but I don't know where he died. I don't know where he fell. Kind of just exploded him. Actually, it looks like I already got his loot. Anyway, there was a safe in here, apparently. Oh. Nope, we went there. Where was this safe? Oh, right, I forgot about this guy. I could get it that the bite does like a stupid amount of damage. Because it's like tons. Oh yeah, there is the safe. The Great Hall. Hail to our fallen comrades. What is that? The Great Hunt, hail to our fallen comrades. Hail to our fallen comrades, hail to their bravery, for we prevailed. The guard prevailed, my brothers. We hunted them down, the enemies of mankind, hidden in the dark tunnels of our modern cities. We found them in their nests and dens, and they perished. We brought the fires of battle to the blackest pits. Never had such a large-scale war been enraged by... Probably... Been enraged? That's weird. Been enraged by mortals against immortals. Remember this victory, my brothers, for it seals and proves our methods. Never sleep, never surrender, never give up. Yes, my brothers, our method is good, and England is safer tonight thanks to you. Thanks to those of us bitten and killed by the enemy, or our trembling hand when they turned against us. Do not tremble, my brothers. Do not doubt. I cry tonight for the fallen comrades. I cry. I am an old man who finally saw my goal accomplished as I live my last years on this earth. The God of Priven is only half a century old, and we have already accomplished much more than the traders of St. Paul in half a millennium. This was our first great hunt. Let them leeches who survived our wrath remember, we won't stop. From the Adversary by Kendall Stone, founder of the Guard of Priven. Cool. Thanks for telling me to go back for that. I like lore. Yeah, so what I might end up doing in this game... What? I like lore when it's, well, it's like thrown down every once in a while. You like to read bookshelf after bookshelf. If you're put in a library, you will read every book. If I'm put in a library, I'll read the important book. But if I'm in just like a hideout and there's like 2 notes in it, yeah, hell yeah, I'll read those. That's a major point of contention between Shell and myself sometimes when we stream. She wants to read every bit of lore and find every bit, and I just want to find the important bits. And the thing is, really, it's just distribution and saturation. If it's non-stop lore, it's so hard. Anyway. So let's go back and turn the side quest in. Oh, actually, you know what? No. While we're here, let's Rudy Tooty Vampire Scooty all the way over here. We want to go find the morgue guy.
It's locked.
There you are.
Please show me what you have to sell. Of course. It's just
Okay. Interesting. He's not selling it anymore. Okay, so we're gonna have to find the recipe for a headache at a different spot. Oh, that's fine. Okay. Oh. So we just want to find...
Always knew the words to calm the children.
Yeah.
But in the circumstances, I'm willing to.
Yeah, we've got a couple of side quests I want to establish. I want to deal with in here.
Damn.
So he's healthy, she's healthy. We want to talk to her. Hello. Hello? Oh, there's a note there.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Have you heard of any blackmailing going on within these walls?
I have no time for mortal games. My secrets are beyond their comprehension, Dr. Reid.
I have made inquiries about the men who were tracking you, Miss Howcroft.
I did not expect a mortal to have this sort of courage. Speak, Doctor. Why are they hunting me down?
It was a misunderstanding. These hunters were in fact looking for a very different creature, but they mistakenly put their sights on you.
I knew it. I have become undone. Those hunters have discovered me, but they don't know what I'm capable of.
If you'll accept some advice from a petty mortal, I think you should assume a low profile and just quietly disappear into the shadows.
You are right. And you have served me well, mortal. Take this as a reward for your time. Perhaps I will allow you to drink deep of my blood. One day.
Thank you. I'll keep that proposition in mind. Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
You have no idea what problems your claim could cause if heard by the wrong people, Miss Howcroft. You must stop this nonsense now.
Why fear the truth? Strange things live in the dark, Dr. Reid. Strange and ancient beings that were here before this island even had a name.
I'll leave you, mistress of the...
Okay. There's a note on the bed behind her, which we want to read. About the use of garlic and wooden stakes. Oh, boy. Dear brothers, I must now draw your attention to a very important point. The use of garlic is protection against vampires. Let's be crystal clear on the subject. Garlic will never protect you against those creatures. No matter how fresh, how strong, and how smelly, garlic is totally useless as a defense. I can never say enough how damaging the novel of Bram Stoker has been. Yes, of course, the population of Slavic countries place garlic cloves in coffins. Yes, of course. Inhabitants of Santorini Island hang garlic on their windows. There would be so much to write about in this place, and someday soon, I hope to go back to this island to further explore this occult tradition. But that is not to protect the living from the devil. It's to tell the dead that they are aware of their malevolence. It is a symbol, nothing more, nothing less. So please, by all means, yes, wear garlic, show garlic, hang garlic, and tell the shadows that you are not afraid. But if you are looking for supernatural protection, you will have to search much deeper in the forgotten secrets of the occult tradition, for here is the truth, my fellow brothers. Garlic does not repel vampire, but all the fresh plants will hurt them. It's as if their body could not stand the presence of botanical elements. I have seen an enraged vault flee when whacked with a rose. Yes, a simple rose. I have witnessed a violent econ fall down and beg for mercy when struck by a wooden stake. I don't know why it is so effective, and I would give my left arm to find the answer to that mystery. But the truth remains, nevertheless. Vampires are very sensitive to fresh herbs, plants, and woods. From Facing the Shadows, How and Why, by Usher Taltrey, Primate of St. Paul. Oh. Okay. Weird.
I wonder why the gods.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Reconstructive surgery has been very successful for some soldiers.
I don't want to wear a bloody mask for the rest of my life. I'd rather stay here and just be forgotten.
Tell me what really happened then.
I went with a whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Why do you...
I wasn't...
Why?
Come on.
I
don't want to...
How close are you to Miss Horcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of my blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
I didn't know I could fail hints. Anyway, let's start talking to the nurses.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reid.
What steps are you prepared to take to feel more useful?
I don't know yet. My sister believes that the real fight is in the streets nowadays. Maybe she's right. Maybe this is what I must do.
And what about Milton Hooks? Does he share your point of view?
For Milton, any change means more comfort and more peace. I disagree.
If you feel that saving lives is not useful enough, perhaps it means that you've lost faith.
On the contrary, my faith has never been stronger. Maybe we are all just too proud to face up to the fact that science cannot compete with God.
Pepper, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes, Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins, but are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke, but we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
No matter how you feel about her, Miss Jones deserves our help.
Who says I don't care for her? Hate is what keeps that old crone alive.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if a nurse finds some happiness where she can?
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Simpletons, these nurses. Bred with no respect.
I hate women like that. They're just mean. Old and crabby. When I used to work at a grocery store, every once in a while we get some like really nice old men and women. There was one woman who would always demand you take her groceries out for her. Like it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was kind of one of those where it's just like she wouldn't ask nicely. It was very much a like, you will do this, you will do that, and okay, yeah. Mesmerizing her is impossible though.